My name is Liliana Kijek. I am in the Masters of Science in Environmental Studies program with the Voinovich School, and my thesis was on microplastic occurrence in the Buckeye Hills Regional Council, socioeconomic and geographical indicators of drinking water quality. I spent multiple months looking for drinking water treatment plants who were willing to allow me to sample at their facilities. Finally, I was able to collect 10 from 8 counties in the Buckeye Hills Regional Council. So I went to each of their facilities and I took my inline sampling mechanism, which basically attaches to a tap or a spigot, and then the water flows through a filter house that holds a polycarbonate membrane filter. The water flows through there through a totalizer that counts how many gallons of water is being tested, and then the water just flows right out back into the sink or into the grass. Mm-hmm. So after I collected all of my samples, then I sat down at a microscope and I counted each individual particle by hand, by eye, I guess you would say. And then from there, I looked at all of the data together in comparison to the socioeconomic indicators of the region, like per capita income, poverty level, population size, population per square mile, those kinds of things. And then I ran a statistical analysis on them, just a simple linear regression to see if there was any type of relationship between those indicators and the amount of microplastics in that facility. The writing process was tough, I'm not gonna lie, but it was really helpful having a lot of second year students who I had made friends with in my first year that had gone through the thesis and dissertation process to kind of help guide me along. My advisors were also really great. They kind of helped, keep me in the right direction. But it was definitely a switch from the normal kind of writing that I do. I was a political science undergrad, and so I focused a lot on theory and that kind of thing. But switching to more of a scientific lens, it was definitely challenging. But like I said, having a lot of support and also thesis and dissertation services at my disposal was very helpful. As soon as we started in the environmental studies program, our success advisor, Cheryl Hansel, really pressed the importance of using thesis and dissertation services and the formats that were available to us online. So that's definitely the first place that I, heard about T.A.D. Going through and writing my proposal, I didn't really do much with T.A.D. services just because it was kind of less serious, I guess you could say. But as soon as I got into my second year when I was going to write the actual final document, I used T.A.D. pretty much every day. Well, of course, balancing my class load and having to write this big giant document, it was really scary. And I'm also a research assistant, so I spent a lot of time working out in the field, doing 5 or 6 other really big projects that took a lot of my time. And so I would say that would probably be another real challenge that I faced was, just balancing my time and making sure I set enough time aside every day to work on my thesis. Well, I just want to, come out and say that thesis and dissertation services was absolutely amazing. Kieran really helped me. She was more than willing to meet with me on the fly at almost any time. I think we had 3 or 4 virtual meetings, just so that she could help me kind of work through some of those editing errors that I had no idea how to use. I do have a MacBook, and so it made things a little bit more difficult, but having, T.A.D. at my disposal really helped with, going through that kind of thing. But, just general takeaways from T.A.D. I think it's a really wonderful program, and it's very helpful for students who have never written a thesis before, because that was a totally new concept to me. I had never, even thought about, I'm gonna write a thesis one day. That never really crossed my mind. And so, being able to have a department that is made specifically for, helping students with that process, it was really, really helpful. Don't wait. That is my advice. If you wait till the last 3 or 4 weeks of the semester, you're going to be so anxious, you're going to be so stressed. I wish I spent more time in the beginning of my second year on my thesis and the actual formatting of the thesis, because that took a good chunk of my time. But yeah, I would definitely say that, keeping up with it and, not stepping away from it for more than a few days at a time.